As hunters, we're always looking forward to opening day, and this year I was more excited than most because I was going to have an opportunity to start my season off a little bit early. Kurt Headington, owner of Anthem Archery and Anthem Custom Strings, is a guy that I've gotten to know over the last few years. And Kurt introduced me to Destry Harris, who operates Harris Hunts. He runs a world-class elk hunting operation, Fort Muscle Outfitters, but also has an outstanding whitetail and mule deer outfit in Montana as well. Kurt's been going there the last few years, and every single year he comes back telling me all these great stories. Last year brought footage back, and just the amount of deer that are out in that area is just incredible. I just could not pass up another opportunity to head out west, hunt a new state, and do a little whitetail hunting before things got started here in Iowa.
This moment is a reflection of where you've been, where you are, and where you will be. This moment is a step into the unknown, not one that asks what or where, but who. This moment is a step on hallowed ground.
You know, I think one of the great things about hunting is the camaraderie and the passion that you share with other hunters. And when I started talking to Destry, he let me know that there were still opportunities for more hunters in camp. And I thought, what a cool opportunity. Let's open this up on Facebook. Let's see if we can get anyone else who's interested to come out and join us on that trip. So we put it up on the Hallowed Ground Outdoors Facebook page, and within like 24 hours, we had like 70 messages blowing up our mailbox. And pretty soon we had a group of guys, a full camp, bags were packed, trucks were loaded up, and we were headed west for Montana.
We finally got to Martinsdale. Got here about a half an hour ago, got the stuff unloaded, and they got a killer setup here with a bunch of round bales stacked up. And I think we got a 3D elk over here and another target, so we're gonna shoot the bow, then we're gonna head out up on top of this butte up here and do a little glassing for tomorrow's hunt.
I expected to see deer, but I didn't expect to see as many deer as we saw. There were deer out in about every single field. We were able to put some glass on a couple decent shooters, and I think everyone's excitement level was at a high for the next morning's hunt.
Ride?
Poachers. No deer in this state.
No deer in this field
deer in this
either.
state.
Is there?
Sterile.
Poachers. Keep going.
Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Quality Archery Designs. You take care of the shot, we'll take care of the rest. Halo Extanium Rangefinders. Never compromise, never miss. Tinks, America's #1 leading buck lure. Diamond Buck Blinds, a cut above the rest.
Muddy outdoors. Out here, our reputation is what defines us.
Sportsman's Guide, for everything to outfit your passion at lowest prices guaranteed.
Quiet Cat, the electric hunting machine that's built like a bull and hunts like a cat. Fog Zero, keep your optics clean and fog-free for a clear shot every time. Extreme Hunting Solutions stick and lick screw and deer attractant. Outlast the competition. Lockdown Vault Accessories. Get organized, save time, get the most out of your vault. This segment of Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Tacticam, the best first-person hunting camera on the market. Made for hunters, by hunters. Tacticam, share your hunt.
Opening morning brings an excitement level that you just can't replicate throughout the season. It just feels good to be in a tree stand with a bow in your hands, actually hunting. Destry had been sending us trail camera pictures throughout kind of the month of August. And there were a handful of good bucks, but one in particular that I definitely had my eye on. It was a mainframe 9-pointer, drop tine off of its left side. And we're sitting there, I'm glassing some deer out in the field. I see a group of bachelor bucks, and right leading the pack is this drop tine buck. Yep, that's a drop tine. Every single step that these deer took, it was like, holy buckets, I mean, we got a chance for this buck to actually make it our direction. Out of nowhere come 2 coyotes busting out of the corner, and deer just scatter. Couldn't ask for anything more in a first morning sit. Everyone saw deer, and we get back to the lodge. People are gathered around the truck, and Kurt had some opening morning success of his own.
You got him. No way.
Outstanding. You got him, buddy? Right on. Look at the bases on him. Look at that buck. That is outstanding. Yeah.
There you go.
Giant mule deer. Destry had it filmed, which was cool. I'm glad that he's a better outfitter than he is a cameraman. But just to see success that quick right off the bat was incredibly encouraging.
We got there and got to a rock crop and we peeked, and sure enough, they bedded right below that tree, but it was like wide open. So then we, covert mission and snuck up. There was a little cropping, and we got there. And we were skyline. I mean, it was a bad deal. It was either going to happen or they were blowing out. So I postured up and shot him. And
How far?
like 46. I mean, I don't know what. I guarantee our odds were 10% or less on it. It worked, and it worked. So
Right.
With seeing Kurt's deer on the ground, I think everyone was excited to get back in the stand that afternoon.
Here we go. Going to shoot a big one.
A couple of us had picked up doe tags, and Max and Pritz were in the tree. Max wasted no time filling his.
finally Team Illinois has some points up on the board, so we're gonna stick it out.
Right out of the gates, you could tell it was going to be a great trip. Great people, great hunting, and the trip just couldn't have gotten off to a better start.
This segment is brought to you by Real Avid Hunting Knives. Our knives aren't for every hunter, just the successful ones.
This segment of Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by the new Prodigy from Bowtech, offering maximum speed and power to ultimate shooting comfort with the simple adjustment of the power disc. Any shooter, every season. Power Shift Technology by Bowtech.
One of the things that was so much different about being out west is depending on where you were sitting, it was nothing to see 40, 50, 60 deer per sit. It was so much different than back home and just incredibly enjoyable to sit down and just see deer everywhere. The deer were there, it was really just a matter of being in the right spot at the right time. I had a doe tag in my pocket, and with every deer you see and you let walk by, your trigger finger just gets itchier and itchier. And it got to the point, the morning was wrapping up, and couldn't take it anymore and let a doe have it. Every single person was seeing deer, was on deer, was in the chips. It was just a matter of that one deer walking by the right tree stand at the right time.
This segment of Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Sawyer's odorless clothing and gear treatment repels and kills over 55 different bugs. Treat your clothes once and hunt the rest of the season. Sawyer, no ticks, no mosquitoes, simply better.
Anytime that you travel, anytime you go on a guided hunt or you're away from home, you kind of reach that day 3, day 4 of a 5-day hunt, and you really start to feel the pressure pour on you. You've invested time, you've invested money, and you start thinking, oh, I've got 2 morning sits, 2 p.m. sits left. And every single moment that goes by, that pressure just builds and builds and builds. Second to last evening, we had a storm coming in, and we were just kind of hoping that that little bit of a front would be what we needed for someone to get the job done. The front was moving in, it was incredibly windy, but eventually things kind of started to die down a little bit and deer started to move. I'm sitting there, I'm watching some does off to my left, and all of a sudden, I look down out of the corner of my eye, and right underneath the tree, I see tines. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't want John to move, so the only thing I could think of, I reach up, I squeeze John's leg as hard as I can so he can just get the point, freeze, don't move. And I just sat there with a death grip on his leg. Everything's going through my mind as to how in the world am I going to stand up, grab my bow, John get the camera on him before this deer walks away. In hunting, there's just plain moments where you gotta make something happen. And this happened in a blink of an eye. And the second that deer passed us, I grabbed my bow, came to full draw. My only hope with him facing straight away was to try to give him a grunt, hoping that he would turn just a little bit to give me an angle.
Didn't get it. No. That was my fault, dude. I had my face mask over my mouth. No choice. I'm sorry, dude. Did you have a second eagle on? Yeah.
In the back of my head, I knew that John probably didn't get any pre-roll footage of him, but it was just a risk that I had to take because I didn't know if another opportunity would present itself.
Good job, man. I'm sorry. I thought he was over there.
If that buck would have taken one more step, for me, he would have stepped right behind a tree. And by the time he would have cleared the tree for John to get on him, he would have been way out of range.
I'm sorry. It's all right. I feel horrible. That's not on film. That's the first time in 5 years I've made that mistake. Lord, please help them. The other second aim. Was it recording?
You have that split second to react. I tried to make the most of it. It is what it is. John did everything that he could, did a great job to at least get the camera turned on and on the deer as much as he could.
I've been praying the whole week. I'm like, Lord, help everyone shoot a deer before me. Just help people fill their ears. And then right here, I was like, God tells us to specifically ask for what we want. And I was like, Lord, send me a deer, please. If it's in your will, send me a deer. And 5 minutes later, I looked down.
Finally pulled the truck around, got headlights on the deer, and I was just ecstatic to fill that tag. Beautiful buck, beautiful coat. I was just pumped. Looking back at the Montana trip, I mean, it was an absolute blast. The opportunity to see that part of God's creation and to fellowship and meet new friends and really just get that camp camaraderie that a lot of times as bow hunters we miss out on was just so enjoyable. I've already got my tag for this year. I can't wait for opening day in Montana. A bunch of the same guys are going back out, and I'm kind of hoping that we can make it an annual thing if Desfree will have us. Great trip, great people. Headed back home to Iowa with a buck on the ground, and Iowa bow season right around the corner.
Past the county line to a promised land, to an old oak tree and an old deer stand.
You know, just that camaraderie made the trip just really magical.
Where I'm born again at sunrise.
What's the word I'm trying to say? Romantic? Intimate. It was just intimate.
Sanctuary I am standing on this hallowed ground, where I was born, and it's where they lay me down.
Everybody used to make fun of me back in high school for throwing like a girl, but who's laughing now? What's up? Come at me!
All right, episode 1 interview's done.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Evolved Harvest. Evolved Harvest complete line of premium forage seed. Evolved Harvest. Grow more groceries per acre.